What's going on, guys? Welcome back. And today I'm finally back again, and I have a new camera finally. It's actually an official camera, not just a phone camera. And I know I said a while ago when I did one of my videos on Avengers Endgame that that was going to be my final video on the film. I was kind of lying, I guess. It wasn't, and I just kind of yesterday came up with this idea that I think is an incredible rewrite of Avengers Endgame. Or at least a finale of Avengers Endgame. And I rewatched Avengers Endgame again the other day, and you're probably sick of me criticizing the film, but today I'm actually going to be acting, I guess, upon how I think we could improve it. So, I watched it the other day, and I realized my biggest problem with the film is actually the third act, because Thanos, I thought Thanos as a character was just badly written, but no, it's actually, the biggest problem I think there is with that character is just, he's unnecessary. He doesn't need to be there in the film. He doesn't need to exist. He doesn't need to be in the film. And it just feels forced, the whole finale, because the main goal of the film is to bring everyone back. They exceeded that, or they succeeded that goal, and then they just have to have a big final battle because, you know, there's not a lot of action in the film. So here's how I think they could fix it. Just go all out with the time travel element. Not keep it like this tame idea of, oh, you just create different realities. So I would change a few things along the way in the first half, but I actually really like the first half of Endgame. I like the beginning. I'm fine with him killing Thanos, and I was like, how could I figure out how to keep Thanos the same without making him into a big cliche bad guy? Now, here's how I would fix it. I'm going to take a little bit of inspiration from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I know a lot of people don't like that book. I'm not going to be completely taking inspiration from it, but I'm going to be taking a little bit of inspiration from it here in my video. So, what's going to happen is at the beginning, they're going to go to Thanos' farm, and it's whatever, he destroyed the stones. And now I'm actually going to add a little bit of significance to why, the whole fact that he destroyed the stones. There's not a lot of significance in the film for that, but in my rewrite, I'm actually going to be doing that. So, and then we're going to jump 5 years. I cut out of some of the comedy, like Scott Lang and Hulk in the bar. It's just not necessary. The way they'd find Scott Lang, I think, is maybe they should have been trying to figure out a way to reverse what he's done for a while now, and then trying to recruit members, trying to find people to bring people back to the team, I guess. And they find the van. They find Scott's van. It's not just Scott getting saved by a rat. They actually find the van at some point, and then they get him out. That would make more sense, I think. So then what's going to happen is, instead of deciding to go to a bunch of different timelines, or travel back to different parts in the past and get the stones from different areas, they're going to be like, hey, why don't we just travel back? So I'm not going to change the fact that they create different timelines. I will mess around a little bit with that idea later, but not right now. And we will delve into the whole Ancient One thing, but basically, they don't, all that stuff, the fan service, people just call it a fan service trip, which it really is, and it's not really a necessary part of the film, and it's just devoid of complete tension. In my version of the time travel, I'm trying to add in more tension into the middle act of Endgame. So basically, they're going to go back in time, they're going to travel back to before Thanos destroyed the stones on the farm, like let's say a few days before that. He's still super weakened, obviously, and they're like, okay, we have to go get the stones from him. So they basically do the same thing they did at the beginning of the film. They kill him, I guess, just kind of defeat him. They just take the stones, and then they head back to the future. And then this is where we get to my part of the film, which is they travel back, and basically everything's screwed up. Everything's messed up. They completely miscalculated, and basically what the Ancient Ones said in the film about, oh, your universe could be overrun, your timeline could be overrun in the film, which she just says is like, ooh, look at this cool graphic, this scary graphic, and it's like something that never happens. In my version of the movie, it happens. They go back, and everything's screwed up, basically. And they're all like, what the heck did we do wrong? Everything's screwed up. What happened? And Wong is there, and so basically it's like, I don't know, whatever, people you want there, whatever people you want in the future, Galactus, or some of these, galactic threats from the film, or from the Marvel Comics, and they've all just taken over, or Dormammu or whatever. The Ancient One said, your reality or mine could be susceptible to the forces of darkness. And then there, Wong and Bruce explain basically that like they've pieced together, and like everyone is pieced, like kind of like trying to piece together. They find Wong and the other surviving characters from Endgame that we didn't get to see very much, which I think would be a lot more interesting. And they basically explain to them that what we didn't calculate, like we were right about it not creating a different timeline, but since the Infinity Stones are the cornerstones of all elements of existence, the second Thanos destroyed the stones, our reality became susceptible to change. So, past that point, anything past the point where Thanos destroyed the stones could be changed. So, what Tony always feared came true. Like, his family, Morgan, they're all gone. Everyone's gone except for them. They're there, and they've basically, what Tony said at the beginning of the film about, we could screw it up worse than he already has basically happened. They've messed everything up. Everything is screwed up. They don't know what to do. And then, eventually, they all piece together. So this would go on for, I don't know, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And eventually, Tony realizes that when they went back, this has been an endless loop. Like, everything happens, they keep messing it up worse than they already have. So they've been trying multiple different things, and they mess it up, and they've never figured out. So he pieces together in his mind, rather than Strange just holding up his finger like this, he pieces together, we have to figure out how to do this. We have one more chance. And we've been doing this forever. We've been going in loops. And it's been 14,605,000. I'm not going to say that exact number, but Tony's going to piece it together. And then the team pieces together with Wong and all these other characters. I don't know, Valkyrie, Okoye, whoever you want in there. They all piece together that, oh, wait. If they're the cornerstones of existence itself, if we could go back to a certain point, get the stones, and snap our fingers, we could erase this reality and bring everything back to the way it was before all this happened. We could bring back everybody and fix our reality as it is. And Tony says to them, I'm going to have to sacrifice myself. I remember Strange told me before all of this that there's only one outcome, and it's going to end with me sacrificing myself, guys. Like, so they decide we're going to travel back to the garden, to Thanos' farm, and we're gonna go there one last time. And so we're done with this whole one round trip each thing. Thanos isn't there in the past. The whole time heist has basically been erased in my version of the film. So they go back to when Thanos had the stones, like I guess like maybe like pretty soon after Infinity War, and he's weakened, but not as weakened as he was when they attacked him in Endgame at the beginning. He hasn't destroyed the stones yet. So they go there, and that way, the whole line of basically, like, and, like, you know, I guess you could say this is pretty, like, simple writing, but I don't think Marvel movies, honestly, if you think about it, the plots never have, like, the most smart writing. It's the character writing that really goes a long way. So they could go back there, and then you could still have Thanos say, you could not live with your own failure. And where did that bring you? Back to me. But it is the Thanos we remember. It's not some Thanos trying to just randomly kill like all of life, because in Infinity War his goal was to preserve life by erasing half of it, not to kill all life. It wasn't just randomly to kill life, it was to preserve life by killing half of it. So in this version, Thanos is still fighting the Avengers, but it's not, I'm gonna kill everyone now for some reason. It's, he's trying to stop them and protect his work from being undone. That's what's happening here. And we don't have every Avenger ever. We just have these ones, the ones we have in the film, along with Wong and Okoye and I guess Valkyrie and whoever else that we didn't get to see a lot in the film. And it's just this surviving team, and they've gone back. And you can still have Avengers assemble. They fight him in the garden, and it's just the big final battle. It is the battle that from Endgame, just done differently, and it's basically all just a huge distraction so that Tony can get to the stones. So Thanos has the stones, but he's weakened, so he's having to, you know, use them like separately and use them slower. So that would make for some pretty creative and more interesting action than just the fight in Endgame where Thanos is somehow more powerful than them, even though he has like none of the stones and all this stuff that makes no sense. The power levels are all over the place. No, it's just he's got the stones, but he's weakened. He has the armor, and it's still the same Thanos. And then I guess you can have the payoffs that everyone wanted that they didn't get to see, like Hulk having a rematch with Thanos, and Nebula getting to fight Thanos, and everyone that you wanted to see get revenge or have a moment against Thanos, you get to see Thor, everyone, even the characters that I guess you weren't expecting, you know, everyone's there fighting, and then eventually at some point, you know, like, Thanos has defeated all the Avengers, and maybe even killed some of them, but they all know that, like, this is the last outcome, this is the final battle, and that way, the whole part where they mess up time travel will actually have some tension, and the final battle will actually have some tension, because you don't know what's going to happen. They all know, you know, this is the final battle, this is the end game. If we fail this, it's all over. Our reality is messed up, and we're done. But they all fight, and they all distract him, and maybe some of them are killed, but they all know that Tony is going to have to make the final play against Thanos. And eventually, at the end of the final battle, you know, you could have a payoff even for Rocket. Like, Thanos is like, what are you trying to do? You know you can't beat me. And Rocket's like, I know. But to quote a friend of mine, we're distracting you little turd blossom. And then you could turn around, Tony's got the stones, and still have it. I am inevitable. I am Iron Man. Or something like that. You know, like, you can still have that moment. You can still have moments from the film that were already there. It's just in a different setting, and with a different, like, structured plot. And I was talking with my brother about this, and we honestly think that Endgame and Infinity War, they should have been a 3-part movie. This should have been 3 movies. And my biggest problem with Endgame is once you get into the time travel, time heist, you got some problems in there. And then in the final act, it just feels so forced and, like thrown in. So this battle doesn't have every Avenger, but it has the ones that we know and the ones that we have grown to love throughout this story. So we get to have those moments of payoff that a lot of people are disappointed we didn't get in Endgame. Nebula, Hulk, all those characters, they actually get the payoffs that we wanted them to have that they never got in the film we have. And then you can still have them go back, and so Tony snaps, basically, and just everything disappears. Everything. The reality is disappearing, and Tony knows that, you know, he's gonna die. Like, he's already snapped, he's already, like, basically hurt himself to the point where he's gonna die, but he knows that, you know, even though everyone's disappearing, like, it's all gonna go back. It's all gonna return to the way it was, and everyone just appears back, everyone's back, all the dead heroes, everyone's returned. And they're back in the reality, Tony's family's back, Pepper, Morgan, they're all back, and you can still have the message that he recorded before the time heist, this whole thing, like, I'm scratching my head about the survivability of it all, and it's not some, like, contrarily Thanos showed up from the past and killed him, or was, like, made him sacrifice himself. No, it's like, and it's also not Doctor Strange just holding up a finger, it's like Tony realized what his endgame was. He realized the one outcome. He pieced it together. And you can still have the ending. You can still have the funeral. You can have the I love you 3000, the message at the end. But all of it, I think, is more well put together. And I think that if you wanted a better film and a better series of films, make it into 3 films rather than just 2. But if you want to make Endgame singularly better as a film, this is how you do it. And Steve, instead of having him go back in time to Peggy, realized that what he said at the beginning of the film about, I think it's time we both get a life, to Natasha, he realized, I have to go live with Sharon. You know, I have to move on, you know? And he realized that what Peggy said was true, you know? None of us can go back. And finally you get a payoff for him and Sharon, which I wanted in Endgame, and he lives his life out with Sharon. And that's his ending in this universe, you know? And he's still around in case anyone ever needs him, but he's basically retired. The only downside is the only thing that really affects the plot in the time heist that is meaningful to anyone's character arc is Thor getting a resolution with Frigga, his mother. I don't know how to fix that. If you guys have any ideas on how to fix that element of the film, or how to, like, still have Thor end up the same way at the end of the film, let me know. But I don't really know how to fix that, because you wouldn't have the resolution for Thor and Frigga. Maybe just have him figure out, I guess, over the course of the film, you know, like, I have to just move on, you know, and you could have everyone just be like, we have to move on, we're gonna move on, you know, and that's the end of it all. Like, everyone's moved on at the end, like they've gotten back what they wanted, but some characters, like Steve, who thought they had to go back, none of us can go back. Sometimes the best thing that we can do is to start over, and what Peggy said has meaning. Steve has to start over with Sharon. And that's the end of his character arc. I think that would be, at least in my mind, a better ending than what we got in the film. Because I'm just really disappointed that they didn't get a resolution with Sharon, or didn't write a conclusion with that character in the film. So that's my version, my rewrite of Endgame. I know I said my last video was the last one, but I just wanted to make one more because I just came up with this brilliant idea. At least in my mind, I think it's a great idea on how to fix Endgame. And I know not everyone's going to love this. I know not everyone's going to agree with me. But to me, Endgame had some problems. I think the first act, like I've already said, is solid. I actually think the first act's pretty solid. There are things that I don't like about the middle act, and then when you get to the final act, the whole movie just falls apart to me. So I'm making this video not out of spite, not because I hate the film, because I really don't hate the film. And I'm just disappointed in some parts of the film because I know that they can do better. And they already did do better with Infinity War. So to me, at least, not to make the whole series better, but at least for me to make, like, this movie, Endgame, singularly better on its own, this is what I would do. And if you guys have any ideas, like if you had elements of Endgame that you didn't like, maybe not as major as mine, but if you wanted to rewrite some elements of Endgame to fit what you would like to see, let me know. And like, I know some people think that Endgame, they like Endgame as it is. They enjoy everything that they did with the film. And if you did, that's fine. And that's cool with me. But to me, like, this ending that I've come up with in my mind is what I would think of as the better conclusion to the story of the first chapter of the MCU. At least to me. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was a really fun video to make and a really interesting topic that I wanted to talk about, because I've been talking about it. I don't like elements of Endgame, and I finally thought of, why don't I just try my hand at trying to fix those problems? And I think that a lot of people will like this. At least I've enjoyed making it, and it's something that I think was a great idea and a great thing to make, and I hope that a lot of you enjoyed it. So, yeah, please let me know all your thoughts on my Endgame rewrite, or my idea of how to fix Endgame in the comments. I know not all of you will agree with me. I know that I've already said that, but if you do agree with me, that's great. And if you don't, that's fine. Please let me know why, and, like, why you disagree, and what your thoughts are on my rewrite. If there's anything you don't like about it, then I can probably go back on that and, like, make another video or something, or maybe I'll just type it out. Maybe I'll write it out somewhere, like my Endgame rewrite. And I'll actually, like, go through the whole movie. That would take a lot of effort, but... And I don't know what the script rewrite for this would be, but this is just my general plot idea of what... Like, how you could end Endgame in a more satisfying way, at least to me. So yeah, please let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and I'm back. I am back for a while now. I have a new camera, and, I'm still figuring out how to work it. Like, so the main video's over now. If you want to click off, you can. But, I'm still tinkering around a little bit with this new camera, but I'm back, and I have a new camera. It works well. Be expecting more stop motion soon. I'm just figuring out how to use it fully and completely. But, more videos are on the way, and as always, I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye.